Today.
It costs so much more for us to build something than the normal people to build something. It's unbelievable.
It is 8 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. I'm Chairman Anne Marie DeRamus, and welcome to our August 14th meeting today. Wow, I cannot believe it's already August 14th. First off, I'd like to introduce a few guests. We have a very distinguished guest today. That is Miss Linda Schoenrock. Linda? There she is in the very back. Linda, we're glad to have you here.
Yay!
That's right. Oh my gosh. Among many other distinguished guests, actually, we also have Caleb Roberts with the University of Arkansas Cooperative Research Unit. Caleb, will you raise your hand? See, there he is. Hey, Caleb. Ronnie and Kathy Ritter with Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry. We have Lynn Fry with Arkansas State University, the College of Veterinary Medicine, which we're very excited about. Also, two others with the Arkansas State. We have Heidi Bantz and Sarah Hooper. Thank you all for being here today.
Joe.
I was about to do that. Oh, I know. I see
I was
that.
introducing if you didn't.
You can.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
We also have a very special guest. My husband, Joe DeRamus, is here. Hello, Joe. Right there in the middle.
Wild man.
You were.
And wild man.
What am I thinking? Wild man, you didn't sign in.
I was too busy eating donuts.
That'll do that. Hey, Wild Man, we're glad you're here. And Brian Hendricks with the Democrat Gazette. Hello. Okay. So I'd like to call this meeting to order. We are going to start with a prayer in the Pledge of Allegiance. Chaplain Roger Pearson will be our chaplain today, and please stand if you are able. Is Roger here? Is Roger here?
Guess not.
He may have thought that we started at 9. Chris, do you want to step in? Thank you, Chris. Next time.
We don't have much time.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you today for this great day. We appreciate the opportunity to fellowship this morning. We appreciate the work that the Commission does across the state, and we just ask you to bless that time, give our commissioners wisdom, discernment, be with our staff, keep safety top of mind for everyone across our state. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Chief of Staff Chris Racy, for stepping in. So the first matter is approval of today's agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda as presented? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. And second from Philip. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The motion is approved. Next, I need approval of the commission meeting notes from July 17th and the August 7th, 2025 committee meetings. Are there any additions or deletions to these notes? Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is approved. Let's see. Now for our delegations. First up, we have a very special guest speaker that everyone knows. That is Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation President, Mr. Deke Whitbeck. Deke, we look forward to hearing your update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. It's that time of the year for the Outdoor Hall of Fame banquet coming up. We are T-minus 10 days out from that. Saturday, August 23rd, State House Convention Center. We have broken, again, table sales records this year. It's pretty incredible each year what we're doing. And I just want to say that it's not because of what we're doing. It's nothing that our staff or what Tyler or my board's out. We'll make the asks. But I think the important point is it is what folks across the state want to be part of the agency, want to be part of what you all are doing as staff. And so to staff, I just want to say thank you all so much for making our jobs going out, raising dollars for y'all easier. So big, I just want to give a round of applause to our staff for doing that. You know, we have 20 events now across the state, and it's incredible the amount of folks that show up that want to be a part of it. So again, I just can't thank y'all enough, and I'm so proud of the work that y'all do as a staff. Remember, staff gets 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame banquet. If you have not RSVP'd, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, or Ruth Catherine or Tyler. We definitely want to get y'all there on Saturday, August 23rd. We've got an incredible lineup of champions of conservation that we're going to recognize, and Steve Arison, Cheryl Johnson, Tom Kennan, and the Arkansas Master Naturalists. They all have great stories that we're excited to share. Online silent auctions open. You know, go to our website, agff.org. I just had a minute or two upstairs to throw a couple of things together, but I want to remind you the J.D. Neely squirrel hunt. That's always a big hot item that's got lots
Someone
of good
keeps
bids on
outbidding
there.
me and they need to stop.
We've got, go back to that Sissy's Log Cabins donating either courtside seats to a Memphis Grizzlies game or a suite for 16 in Memphis, and you get to pick the game. That's a really great item to have. Our friend Jason Parker created another knife this year, and so, guys, there's only over 250 items on that silent auction. We're going to raise a ton of money, and we're going to do it to help raise funds and support this staff and what they do. So,
Is there a flamethrower this year?
there may or may not be a flamethrower. Yes.
There has to be, Dick.
If there is, I've taken the logo off the side of the flamethrower.
You need to show them how to use it, too.
Sir,
You need to show them how to use it.
Commissioner Caldwell will give lessons in using.
It's
Said
great for
flamethrower.
burning a yard up.
Well, anyway, we're almost sold out. I mean, we've got we take over 84,000 square feet down at the convention center. It's really incredible. If y'all hadn't been, staff or those watching online hadn't been, go to the website. These tickets are still available. Staff, if y'all haven't done so, shoot me a text or an email. I really would love for y'all all to be there and help celebrate. So, I think that's all, Madam Chair. Thank you for letting me bring an update.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
How did you get to the silent auction? Tell us how to do that.
You can very easily text the word fish to 243-725. You'll get a text back that'll give you a prompt to get in to see the silent auction. But really just Google Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation or go to agff.org, and there's a link right there that'll take you to it.
For sure. Deke, it's funny because the other nonprofits that I'm a part of, I've noticed, have started doing a similar auction ever since they saw the success that you're doing. So I take that as a compliment. Well done, Deke.
Deke's a leader.
Yes.
You know, we did that in 2019 before the pandemic, kind of not knowing, but that really sort of helped us through those years. Be remiss to say if I didn't thank Banded. I always leave out my presenting sponsor, but we're really grateful for Banded being the presenting sponsor again this year. They are such a great partner in conservation, so thank you, Banded. Thank you all. Have a great meeting.
Well, and Deke, while you're there, thank you for the event for Director Show and Rock last
yeah.
night. It was wonderful. I believe Garrett Duggar said it best when he said Deke doesn't know how to say no. No matter what, when we ask you to do something, you're all hands on deck. So thank you for a fabulous evening. Everyone had a wonderful time.
You're very welcome. Thank y'all.
Now we have our director's report from Director Schoenrock. You have the floor.
I echo, Madam Chairman, thank you for all of you who came, staff, and we had a host of folks there. And Linda and I were humbled by the number of people that came and showed support. We're going to do this again next year, and I hope we have 6 or 8 people. But we're excited about it. Deke, thank you to the foundation for your partnership and your sponsorship and supporting the agency. As I've mentioned in the past, I don't think I've ever seen a foundation that's as dedicated to the cause. And I greatly appreciate that. Well, appreciate everyone being here this morning, visitors and guests alike, and whether you're here in person or online. it's great to know that you're interested in the endeavors that the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission takes on. And before I get started, though, I'd like to introduce a new face to our headquarters office here, right here in Little Rock. Joe, please stand up. I'd like you to meet Lieutenant Colonel and Interim Chief Enforcement Officer Joe Williams. Joe, welcome, and thank you for rising to the challenge. Appreciate that. Last month, I mentioned to you that August is National Shooting Month, National Shooting Sports Month. And now that we're almost halfway through the month, in another day, I want to provide some interesting details about our shooting sports activities and give you a little bit of a glimpse of what's coming in the future. You know, recreational shooting has a very strong link to conservation, and it's very complex, but a portion of the purchases of firearms, ammunition, and archery equipment is being allocated back to the states for conservation support. And it's through acts that were passed through Congress many, many, many years ago, back in, I don't know how long ago, back in the 30s, I think, maybe, and 1930s. And our shooting sports division, which is part of our education division, is led by Chief Jose Jimenez. They have a lot going on. And for example, I'm just going to give you a few snippets of what's been happening in the last 14 days. So let me just get my notes here right. So August 6th through 10 was free range time at shooting ranges, as well as if you were fortunate enough to go to the Mayflower range on the 9th or 10th of August, you also got a free lunch. Thank you, Jose. That was awesome. Also, our shooting sports division is offering free range time in August at rifle and pistol ranges for all youth ages 6 through 17, senior citizens, as well as for anyone who's purchased a new firearm in the past 60 days or obtained a new hunting or fishing license or renewed a new hunting fishing license since July 1. Free range time during the month of August. This weekend, starting Saturday, ladies' weekend at the Fiochi Shooting Complex at any station that's pistol, rifle, or shotgun. Ladies' weekend this weekend. And with dove season being just around the corner, our shotgun enthusiasts may want to take advantage of the special deals being offered for both trap and skeet at both the Fiochi and the Grandview Prairie complexes, where all rounds of trap and skeet are only $2 for the entire month. Friends, this doesn't even cover the cost. It basically just covers the small cost of the clays, but doesn't cover the cost. It's a great outreach, and thank you for doing that, Jose. So if you're a dove hunter, get out there and brush up and take advantage of this low price opportunity. And then on August 30th at the Grandview Prairie facility, anyone over the age of 6 can shoot 2 rounds of skeet absolutely free. I may try to get out there then, but it's a great opportunity to do that. If you don't have a spot to do it in your own field or backyard, it's get to one of our shooting ranges. And then when it's free, Jose, you may want to have some parking enforcement out there to figure out how you're going to park folks. So, friends, that's 14 days into the month. In addition, the Shooting Sports Division has been very busy with cultural surveys, people science, at various universities where these institutions are considering implementing shooting sports activities at their schools. There's also expansion of existing collegiate sporting activities, shooting activities, which is going to expand participation in this real rapidly growing piece of education. And speaking of education, Jose and his team are also working on development of curriculum with the Arkansas State Department of Education, as this curriculum is being evaluated by our legislature for classroom implementation. Jose and his team have been working with the Little Rock Air Force Base on some 3D printing capabilities for empty chamber markers to go in chambers of centerfire rifles and I would imagine pistols and shotguns. And harnessing this technology with our friends just to the north of Little Rock. And then there's continued training of basic archery and basic air rifle training. These are the 2 most rapidly growing sports that we have in the shooting sports in the state here, which, by the way, a little known fact is the state of Arkansas is ranked ninth in the nation in participation in the archery in schools. Ninth in the nation of all states. Congratulations, Jose.
I just want to mention, I mean, that's not me, that's the staff, right? I mean, specifically on the archery side, that's Amy Swain. She's driving the bus heavily on that, and she's doing a great job.
I understand that's her, but it takes a great leader too. Thank you. That's enough for now on shooting sports. There's a whole lot more. When I asked Jose to help prep me a little bit for this, I got 30 pages of stuff, and I wanted to come up with about 5 bullet points. And it's so exciting to see this rapidly growing activity increase, and I'm proud that we have staff dedicated to it. So thank you to you and your team. Well, what about other stuff that AGFC's been doing since our last meeting? I'd just like to mention a few things. First of all, I'd like to welcome Colonel Patrick McCalkin to his new leadership role with the Little Rock Division of the Corps of Engineer. We had some folks at the ceremony where the colonel took control of this agency locally, and we're looking forward to building and strengthening our relationship with the Corps of Engineers under Patrick's leadership. I'd also like to recognize our education, our private lands habitat, and our wildlife divisions as they partnered with Quail Unlimited and some other partners at the Fred Berry Crooked Creek Nature Center. So this activity was in conjunction with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and it provided a hands-on experience for both AGFC employees and partners. And it's a great example of working together across divisions and other organizations for both educational outreach and habitat improvement. That's one thing that happened. But what this led to then was it set the stage for a prescribed burn at the Camp Robinson SUA, where we had over 65 people from various organizations who participated in an important habitat management improvement practices just last week. Some of you who have driven around Conway last week may have seen the smoke or smelled it. I think we could even smell it in Little Rock a little bit when we had the wind right, Luke. But this was a highly choreographed event and was extremely successful, and it probably represents one of the largest and most intensely managed prescribed burns in AGFC history. Luke, thank you for your efforts on this and leading this. Also last week, I was honored to stop by and visit with our education division at the Springdale Nature Center during one of their annual training meetings. I enjoyed interacting with this enthusiastic bunch of young people as they continue to ramp up our educational efforts in outreach, which, by the way, now that school has started, we have over 45 classrooms or 45 schools now who have signed up for the educational outreach program. I think the target we heard yesterday in the meeting was 30, and we have over 45, and there probably will be more coming on. So congratulations, Mary Beth, to your leadership and to helping us get this outreach going. It's phenomenal. I assure you that with this kind of pace, Arkansas is going to take a leadership role in the nation in outdoor education in schools. So thank you for your efforts on that. And our outdoor education folks that I saw up there last week, I saw a room full of winners. And the reason I knew they were winners is because they were there on a weekday. Now, granted, it was work for them, but how many times do you go to a seminar or a classroom and there's a bunch of Saks and McDonald's sitting in the back of the room? That was pretty cool. I enjoyed seeing that. And I enjoyed interacting with your team, and the questions that they asked were very insightful. And I could tell that these young people have a passion for the future and for future generations. And speaking of winners, I think we have a slide here, but the Arkansas Game and Fish website has been awarded as the top website in the nation in the Association for Conservation Information Awards. This competition was among agencies like ours, as well as other NGOs, all competing for the top spot. I'd like to congratulate our whole communications team on this great accomplishment. Take a look at that. That's pretty cool to get first in the nation from Arkansas. Spencer, congratulations to you and your team. In addition, I'd like to thank Jeff Quinn and congratulate him for earning a national award from the American Fisheries Society for his great work on the War Eagle Restoration Project. Likewise, Cameron Tatum was awarded the National Bob White and Grasslands Initiative State Firebird Award. These are but two of probably 40 to 50 award winners we've had through different organizations throughout the year so far this year. And I can spend a whole update just congratulating all the award winners that we've had with our staff, so thank you. Moving forward, our work and continued assessment of the Jim Hinkle Coldwater Fish Hatchery continues to make progress as our fisheries, our operations, and our fiscal teams continue to work with other agencies, including FEMA, to get this facility back up and running. Thank you for your efforts to do this, your diligence. This facility, I think Tommy's already up and running to some capacity, and what a spirit of the workmanship to get this thing going after the disaster we had with the flood, and hopefully we're going to get that thing back up to 100% sooner than later. And we've already initiated discussions concerning our next regulation cycle, which will be here before we know it. And speaking of regulations, our new regulations management software, ESPER, E-S-P-E-R, is now up and running. And it basically makes online searching for specific regulations and topics a whole lot easier. This is better for both the public and our staff as well as they answer questions from the public. And it's managed by one of our employees, Sissy Phillips. So, Brad, thank you. And team, thank you for your efforts on the regulations and standing this up. Looking forward to this regulation cycle, as is this commission, to continue to provide sound input and with the goal of making this a whole lot simpler for the public. So thank you. So as we look forward, next Saturday, the 23rd of August, is the Hall of Fame banquet. We already had a great commercial from Deke on that. Thank you, Deke. Make sure you go there and welcoming these new inductees who are truly conservation pioneers within the great natural state. September 3rd is our next commission meeting. It's a one-day meeting. It's going to be at Camp Robinson SUA in the Camp Robinson SUA clubhouse. September 11th is Arkansas Game and Fish Employee Appreciation Day at the Jacksonville Shooting Range. I think there'll be some shooting opportunities, hopefully not at the director. And we look forward to having lunch and interacting with all of our great employees at that place. And then September 26th is our private landowner conservation expo down in Benton. Looking forward to that as well. Private lands are critically important to what we do. Without private lands, we wouldn't be able to affect conservation and affect our mission like we do right now. So I'm looking forward to attending that as well. I'd be remiss in saying that I'm not saying it. I'm so proud of the working relationship between the commissioners and the staff. It's this type of collaboration that is going to continue to accelerate our pace of conservation as we look forward into years to come. And before I close, I'd also like to take a moment to ask us all to remember Pat Fitz and his family. I think we have a slide on that. There we go. Thank you. As most of you know, Pat passed away about a week ago, and Pat was an iconic leader of this great organization and will be remembered for generations to come. And in true Pat Fitz style, one of his last wishes was to have a fish fry at his memorial service. The details are on the screen, and I encourage all of you to attend. This was Pat's style through and through. In closing, there's a whole lot going on here at AGFC, and I'm proud and I'm honored to be surrounded by a strong team of professionals. Thanks for sitting on the front row, y'all. Appreciate it. And for being on the front row in conservation as we move forward. These remarks could go on and on. I could spend the whole meeting talking and bragging about our folks. This is just a small part. And I just want to tell both you and the commission that this is a pleasure. Madam Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Director Schoenrock, and great report. Okay, at this time, the committee chairs will deliver their reports from yesterday's meeting. First up, Commissioner Finley, Chair of the Budget and Property Management Committee. Commissioner Finley?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. So the Budget and Property Management Committee met yesterday. The discussion items included Emily Shoemate delivered the agency's full monthly financial status report. The action items were plentiful. We had Mark Hooks and Matthew Warner presented an action item for the exchange of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to give them land from the Burl Anthony Lower Ouachita WMA in exchange for the Oakwood unit in Desha County. This would be a net gain of approximately 2,200 acres of additional hunting opportunities for the public. Mike Cantrell then presented an action item for the budget increase of $51,000 for the construction of a canoe and kayak access on at Lake Atkins from the Marine Fuel Tax Funds. Also, Mike presented an action item for a budget increase of $221,000 for a culvert replacement for the renovation of the water control structure at Gala Creek WMA. Mike presented a final action item for the budget increase of $573,000 for culvert replacement at Ed Gordon Point Remove WMA. Then, at that point, Mary Beth Hatch presented an action item to grant fine monies totaling over $777,000 to the Division of Rural Services for the Wildlife Education Grant Program. And we concluded with Emily Shoemate presented an action item for the removal of the stolen inventory from our inventory. All action items received unanimous due pass by the committee. There was no new business, no old business, and we were adjourned.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Finley. Next, we have Commissioner Tappan, Chair of the Regulations and Resource Management Committee. Commissioner Tappan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, everyone. Regulations and Resource Management Committee met yesterday. We had several discussion items. Mark Hooks provided a presentation on the reintroduction of bears in South Arkansas and the innovations in trapping methods. Spencer Daniels presented findings of data pertaining to bears within the Gulf Coastal Plains. I'll add that Mark also was recognized for 35 years of service and will be retiring by the end of this year, and his passion still evident from his presentation yesterday. Garrett Grimes presented on the collaborative efforts and progress of the War Eagle Creek Stream Restoration Project, which is the largest stream restoration project the AGFC has undertaken to date. Chance Garrett presented on leopard darters, history of discovery and specifically the propagation project and the success from it. Spencer Griffith and a team of staff presented on recent licensing data, trends, and particular emphasis on trout permits. There were no action items, no new business, no old business, and we were adjourned.
Thank you, Commissioner Tappan. Next, Commissioner Jones, Chair of the Public Outreach Committee. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Public Outreach Committee met yesterday. We had two discussion items. Kirsten Barlow and Jeff Williams presented on the new agency book, River to Ridge, a book detailing the agency outdoor spaces and wildlife management areas. I will add, too, that it's a fantastic book. You've got to have it. Great coffee table book for Christmas. It's on sale for $20 a piece. It's on sale here, also at the nature centers and other favorite retailers around the state. So great thing to pick up, get your own book. Our second item was John Burton gave an update on the STREAM Team program and efforts on outreach for the agency on aquatic resources. We had one action item. Jen Sheehan presented an action item to send a letter of support to the Arkansas Department of Transportation in support of naming a newly constructed bridge in honor of former Commissioner Joe Morgan, which is a wonderful thing. We had no new business, and we had no old business, and we were adjourned.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Next, Commissioner Adams, Chair of the Personnel, Governance, and Enforcement Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The Personnel, Government, and Enforcement Committee met yesterday, and we had a couple of discussion items. Joe Williams gave a report on recent enforcement efforts and impacts across the state, and John Marks delivered the agency's legal report. We had no action items, no new business, no old business. We did have an executive session, but no action was taken, and we were adjourned.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Adams. Next, we have our commission items for approval. First off, Matthew Warner, Oakwood Exchange Unit. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to be here this morning. Today marks an important milestone in our pursuit of opening up 2,200 acres of public land in Deshay County. And there's been a lot of folks that have been pushing on this project, from operations, from legal, from the Wildlife Division, but really first and foremost, our early supporter on this was our friend and former director, Pat Fitz. He was very supportive of this project, and so we are very happy to bring this to completion, hopefully by the end of this calendar year. So this morning, I am pleased to present for your consideration a minute order that will add 300 acres of the Burl Anthony Lower Ouachita Wildlife Management Area in Union County to the proposed exchange with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for its Oakwood unit in Deshay County. With this addition, the total exchange of land from Lower Ouachita WMA will amount to 2,199 acres, and I am happy to answer any of your questions.
Any questions for Matthew? This requires approval from the Budget and Property Management Committee. Commissioner Finley, was this approved by the committee?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. No need for a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? The motion is approved.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have Jen Sheehan on the Joe Morgan Bridge naming support. Jen, you have the floor.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before you is a minute order for your consideration to name, when it is newly constructed, the Highway 88 Bridge in Rydell, Arkansas, in honor of former Commissioner Joe Morgan.
I think that Commissioner Morgan, I mentioned this yesterday, called you every single day to check on the update of the Biomeda project. And of course was very passionate about Biomeda, so I can't think of a more perfect occasion and something to name after Joe. This requires approval from the Public Outreach Committee. Commissioner Jones, was this approved by committee?
I do pass.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the request. No second is necessary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. Thank you, Jen. Okay, Mike Cantrell, item 6C is a budget increase, Lake Atkins canoe and kayak access. Mike, you have the floor.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, and Director. We have for your consideration a minute order for a budget increase and project approval to build a canoe kayak access at Lake Atkins. Budget increase is $51,000, and this will be from unobligated marine fuel tax funds. And I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mike? Okay, this requires approval from the Budget and Property Management Committee. Commissioner Finley, was this approved?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
All right, I have a motion to approve. No second is necessary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you, Mike.
He's got one more.
Oh, you have two
Three
more.
more, two
I'm
more.
sorry. Another budget increase for the Gala Creek Water Control Structure renovation. Mike?
Again, we have a minute order for your consideration to improve a water control structure at Gala Creek WMA. This increase and project will, we need a budget increase of $221,000 to complete that work. And again, this will be from unobligated wildlife restoration funds and unobligated state funds.
Once again, Commissioner Finley, this was in your Budget and Property Management. Was it approved?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
All right, I have a motion to approve the request. No second is necessary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. And one more time, Mike Cantrell, a budget increase for Ed Gordon Point Remove culvert replacement.
Yes, we do have another minute order to present for your consideration for replacing a water control structure at our Ed Gordon Point Remove WMA. This will require a budget increase of $573,000, and this money will come from our unobligated wildlife restoration funds and state dollars. I'll answer any questions that you might have for those projects.
Commissioner Finley, was this approved in Budget and Property Management Committee?
Unanimous do pass.
All right, I have a motion to approve the request. No second is necessary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Next, we have our education chief, Mary Beth Hatch, to give us the Find Money's Grant for Wildlife Education Program presentation. Mary Beth, you have the floor.
Good morning, Director, Commissioners, Madam Chair. I'm here to ask for approval for a transfer of funds in the amount of $777,883.84 to the Division of Rural Services with the Arkansas Economic Development Commission in order to fund our wildlife education conservation grant program.
Any questions for Mary Beth? Okay, this requires approval from the Budget and Property Management Committee. Commissioner Finley, was this approved?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
I have a motion to approve the request. No second is necessary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. Thank you, Mary Beth.
Thank you.
Now, our CFO, Ms. Emily Shoemate. Item 6G is the removal of a stolen inventory item. Emily, you have the floor.
Good morning. I have for your consideration today a minute order that will allow for the removal of a stolen inventory item. This was a firearm that was purchased in 2017 for $424 with a current net book value of $0. This minute order will just allow us to remove it from the inventory.
Commissioner Finley, was this approved in Budget and Property Management Committee?
Yes, it was.
I have a motion to approve. No second is necessary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
The motion is approved. Thank you, Emily. Is there any new business to discuss? Any old business? And Commissioner Adams, is there a need to go into executive session? Okay. We are finding ourselves with a little bit of extra time, so Commissioners, I'd like to open it up to you for any last comments on things that are going on in the future or that have happened in the last couple weeks. Dr. Evans-White, we'll start with you on the end.
Thanks a lot, Anne Marie. Just wanted to say how excited I am for our new director and the future of the Game and Fish Commission. Look forward in working with all of you this fall, and I don't really have a whole lot to say in that.
Michelle, thanks for always keeping us in line, and especially yesterday we were talking about the leopard darter and several other aquaculture projects, and I know as we continue to talk about those, we value your input greatly, and especially as we're going into our regulation cycle. So thanks for always keeping us in check. Commissioner Caldwell?
You know, I just really want to talk about how great last night was, just a huge turnout. Such a large group of legislators and staff excited about Director Schoenrock being here. And so it was, and then several foundation members. It was a great atmosphere and just a really, really great event. And I just appreciate all the support from the legislature and the public that came out for that.
Well said. Commissioner Jones?
Well, of course, we're glad to have Doug here, but also we're glad to have our new Lieutenant Colonel, Joe Williams, here. We're very excited about it, very refreshing, glad for you to be here. I know you're going to lead this agency in some great areas. The Oakwood proposition that we just did, I think, is absolutely thrilling. For Natural State tomorrow, it fills the bill of 2,200 acres as we want to increase that. So what an exciting deal that is. And is everybody not giddy about dove season and velvet season being right around the corner? Okay, it's just right there. I mean, you're going to be able to dove hunt and velvet hunt in the same weekend. I mean, how cool is that going to be? So we're thrilled about that.
The most wonderful time of the year is upon us, everybody. All right, Commissioner Anderson, we're going to start with you.
I'd just like to start by saying I'm just very excited for this opportunity to be here. Over the years, I've gotten to work with a lot of the staff in the Game and Fish and in one capacity or another, and have just always spoke very highly of everyone. But, the last 30 days, the commissioners, our director, all the staff I've gotten to meet, I've sang your praises at every opportunity I've gotten. It's just an amazing group of people. Very proud to be here. Hopefully I can live up to everybody's expectations. So thank you for that. And something that I just want to mention, in the past I've talked about how well thought of the Arkansas Game and Fish is all across the country. And just one more way to show that is after the Lone Oak Hatchery was opened or dedicated, I think now we've been reached out to from Wyoming, and they're looking to do the same thing. And they think so much of not only our agency, but what we've done with that hatchery, that they're wanting to kind of follow in our footsteps and rejuvenate theirs, if not build one from the ground up. So that speaks volumes when you have other states calling you for output and input in anything that they're doing. I just think that speaks volumes. So, but thank you all.
Well said, Jamie. And I know I only get to serve with you 1 year, but I really, really look forward to it. And I was amazed when I saw the number of national boards that you were on. And so I'm not surprised that you've already heard from somebody in Wyoming that wants to replicate what we've done here in Arkansas. What a compliment. Commissioner Adams?
Thank you. I want to reiterate some of the things that have already been said today, but just welcome, Joe. Look forward to getting to know you and working with you and you being that forward face going forward. Really excited about that. And then Jose, you probably don't get enough credit for what I've watched the last 2 years and the things that you've done and increased shooting sports, which I think, we talk about the lost generation and things, and I think that's the key, is to getting those youth involved in shooting sports and introducing people that don't otherwise get those opportunities. And I've watched you since you've been here, and it's been fantastic to see you fit in and to see you lead that group in a way that's really exciting to watch. And then last but certainly least, Spencer has taken a lot of heat over since I've been here on getting that website right and the online stuff, and for you to be recognized for that hard work is really exciting for me, and I'm glad that you got that recognition and you deserve it. So thank you, guys.
Well said. Commissioner Tappan?
I also reiterate several things that have been said, but Deke, thanks for last night. That was a great event, and all the people that put extra effort into organizing that. The Schoenrocks and Linda being here, y'all have traveled several times for events and to come into town. And I just can't thank our director enough and how he has addressed these first months of a few challenges and changes and addressed them so professionally. I couldn't be more proud of how we're being represented. Thank you. Lieutenant Colonel, we're so excited about working with you and enforcement, as many people have said up here. Last thing, kind of closing on a tad of a negative note, but it's a call out to all the staff. Y'all have read in the paper, I'm on a bank loan committee that is primarily an agricultural bank. Our farmers are probably and perhaps going to go through the most stressful time this fall that they ever have in their economic life. And anything we can do to support that. Luke, I know you'll be working harder than ever on that, and Garrick on the W. Rice program and getting those dollars out. You think about it, we don't want this particularly to affect negatively our waterfowl seasons and the habitat that could be constrained by farmers literally not having the economic capacity to flood fields or prepare or do what they've done in the past for our migratory birds. So, just think of that. Any area in your departments where you can touch agriculture and help and try to boost what is such a critical part of our economy in Arkansas, but also does affect our wildlife. So that's it. Thank you.
So true, Philip, and we appreciate all that our farmers do, especially what they do for conservation here in Arkansas. It's so important. Commissioner Finley?
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. I'd echo all the comments, just good comments. I may be one of the few people that are kind of a bittersweet day for me for our new Lieutenant Colonel. We've got to know each other over the last 4 years. Our community is losing a great leader in our community, but happy to loan him to you guys for as long as y'all need him. But his family, absolutely stellar folks in our community, love him, and happy for them. And just sad, we're a little selfish on our part, Joe. You've done such a great job up there of being the humble leader you are, and excited to see other folks have an opportunity to experience that throughout the agency. And so that, I thank you. And the last thing, in the event that something happens prematurely, we understand we're excited about you and Joe's house growing by 2 feet over the next 30 days. So with that being said, in the event something goes early, we want to be thinking about you.
That's crossed my mind. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. That's me. Joe and I, Joe, who's out there in the middle, we have several Joes here today, are welcoming our second little girl here in the next few weeks. And what a blessing it is to do that. And, we're so excited about it. We're so excited about watching Liza be a big sister. Most importantly, I'm excited to introduce her to all of you. And I can't wait someday. My girls, they're obviously way too young to know what's going on right now. And, the great volunteer position that their mother holds with these outstanding gentlemen and all the people at the Arkansas Game and Fish. But I can't wait for someday when I get to introduce my girls to this agency. And I know that they will love it. I'm so fortunate to bring them up in Arkansas, in a place where we have so many great natural resources, and that wouldn't be possible without all of you. So September 5th is tentatively when I'm supposed to go check into the hospital, but we shall see. We have a meeting on September 3rd at Camp Robinson SUA. And I've timed it, and it's about 25 minutes from the hospital. So I think we're going to be okay.
And whoever's responsible for Camp Robinson SUA, we need to get a clear definition of what SUA means. And do we need to have any kind of triage unit set up while we're there?
Rob has already made me fully aware that he's delivered a baby before. No, I don't.
You get what you pay for.
Lord, who said I was going to pay you? Come on.
Exactly.
Oh, well, everybody, what a great August meeting. Really great material yesterday. Very excited about the next month, and really excited about our meeting at the SUA here in a couple weeks. It'll be a special meeting, just one day. It's an area that's been particularly of importance to me ever since I joined the commission. In fact, one of my very first outings that I took with staff was on a controlled burn in August out at the SUA. So it's only appropriate that we just did a very large controlled burn that I could see from my house in Little Rock. Philip, I know you saw it too. At the SUA, where we had over 60 participants, not just from our agency, but from other agencies. Talk about great work for wildlife. And what a treasure. So I hope that any staff that's able to make it that day, I hope you can come out. It's a really special place. I mean, we've got great bird watching out there, other wildlife opportunities, wildflowers. I know that the Little Rock Garden Club has even been out there before. Allison Fowler and her team do a lot of work, and Stephen Fowler, Noah, Matt, the whole crew. And we also have a fabulous retriever training area out there as we're getting closer to dove season and duck season. So that takes place on Wednesday, September 3rd, and we'll have an 8 a.m. start. Also, Joe Williams, I loved how the very first thing you did yesterday was introduce the ladies in the radio room. Those are people that I've actually talked to on the phone when I've called and checked my game over the years, but I've never actually met. And I think about our radio room that we have as commissioners who supports us all the time, and that's Landon and Bridget, who are here today. So Landon and Bridget, thank you for all you do. We couldn't do it without you. Next, we had a great presentation on bears yesterday in the Gulf Coastal Plain. 4 years ago, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong on that, Luke and Brad, but that's when we implemented our very first bear season in South Arkansas. And I think the quota was and still is 5 bears? 20? Goodness. Well, hopefully we see that go up over the years and talk about a wildlife success. I'm sure all of you have heard this in the bear den trips over the years, that is the most successful reintroduction of large carnivore species in the world, right here in Arkansas. So giving more opportunities to people in our state for hunting is a big win for us. Speaking of more opportunities, the Oakwood unit. I'm very, very excited about that. That's something that our agency has been focused on over the past few years is more access. And I am so proud to see that we are doing that. It's going to be great for waterfowl hunters, bird watchers. We talked about the rail. Why is it slipping my mind? Thank you. The King Rail yesterday. Commissioner Jones, I know that you've been down there and seen the WMA personally, and look forward to seeing all the opportunities that come out of it. Now, another very important event that's coming up that I don't think I'll be able to make it to is September 13th. That is the national, maybe even international, world champion squirrel cook-off.
I'm going to be a judge.
And our very own Director Schoenrock is going to be judging.
I'll take one for the team.
Hey now, squirrel's pretty delicious.
squirrel.
Oh my gosh. Well, good. You're in the right competition then. That's in Bentonville, I believe. And actually, our very own Clifton Jackson has won that competition before. I want to say several times.
Skinning competition.
Oh, the skinning competition. That's pretty important too.
I'm not a judge of that.
Oh, come on. Oh, gosh. Well, I hope that Clifton's up there again and can reclaim his title. And lastly, Pat Fitz. Rob and I are the only ones at this table that had the privilege of serving on the commission while Pat was director. Pat leaves behind his wife, Alice, Miss Alice, as he lovingly called her, Austin, Audrey Kay, his grandkids, daughter-in-law and son-in-law. Pat was one of the first people, besides Governor Hutchinson, who knew that I was being appointed to this commission. And he reached out to me immediately and was such a friendly face right at the beginning because, you know, at 27 years old, you really don't know what you're getting into. In fact, I don't know really any commissioner who honestly knows what they're getting into joining this group. But Pat was such a comforting presence in that time when it was very overwhelming for me, and I'll never, ever forget that. Pat was very strong in his faith. That's one thing that I've heard from so many people who have just expressed their outpouring of love to him since his passing, I guess it was last Friday, is how strong he was in his faith. And we will miss him terribly. His service is on Saturday at 1 o'clock, followed by a fish fry, just as Director Schoenrock mentioned. I know that we'll see many staff there, and I know that Miss Alice and the kids and the grandkids really appreciate all the prayers and love that they've received over the past couple weeks, and we'll continue to lift them up. So, real quick, I would like to do a moment of silence for Pat. Everyone bow your heads. To a great man and a life well lived. We are adjourned.
Is that a record?